installing a Force Performance turbo, and he's gonna be showing you a couple of cool cars, so stay tuned.
All right, have the old turbo off. So this was the Street Turbo HD 8088 versus the Race Turbo FP 8892. And check out the turbine wheel difference. So this is a stock Borg 96 by 88. And then this is, the GT50 style with a couple changes that FP did. And when they had it made, it is a 9990 by 92. So pretty cool. And then made it fit a T6 132 housing, which is the same as this. And it'll all bolt on to the kit that I have. And some other cool... All right, let me see if I can flip this in one hand. All right, so compressor size side. Pretty cool. The compressor housing is a bit different. So this is more the economical version. And these are cast and finished by Tile. This is actually a Tile Zona rotor compressor deal. There we go. Gonna put this bad boy on after I have to drill and tap for the boost fitting. Haven't decided yet if I'm gonna drill and tap for the meth injection. Figure that out here in a bit. All right, a little interlude surprise today. Not really surprise, I guess, but doing this is Lee's 92 3000 GT VR4, and he's done quite a bit of nice work to it. So 15G turbos, intercooler.
VR650 now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh man, stepping up. Stepping up. Chris at Revenge Performance did some maintenance work and some upgrades for him, so he's back now for FlexFuel Tune on AEM, but has the Revenge Performance coil on plug kit, which is really nice. Highly recommended for these things now, and it is just clean, and love the interior. Very nice. Most of them do not look this good anymore. Oh, JDM tails and GTO center. And some meaty exhaust tips. Very nice. Oh, and finished Lee's car. FlexFuel Tune, some small bolt-on billet turbos, and we it's a stock bottom end car, so I like to tune those a little more conservative depending upon the owner. So he wants to drive his car regularly, cross-country road trips, a little bit of racing, but mostly a driver. And it's so tuned it to keep the torque low at the boost hit, and then just kind of flat and ride the horsepower with RPM. So that's done through timing manipulation as well as boost manipulation. So a little lower timing than you would need to do when the boost comes up and at peak torque. And then also then using ECU boost control, able to ramp the boost in with RPM. And it really makes a nice linear power curve, which ordinarily the engines wouldn't do with the stock cams and the intake system and the small turbos. So we went from about 15 pounds of boost at the hit, and then up to 20 pounds of boost a little bit before redline. So the last 1,000 RPM was all at 20 pounds of boost. So he was pretty happy. It drove great. It's a beautiful car, very, very clean first gen. And then when he gets a little more frisky, we can get a little more aggressive with everything. There's plenty of timing to go, and there's plenty of boost to go. And he has enough fuel system for probably another 100 horsepower. And then after that, it would require a built engine to push it any further. But it was fun. Really like seeing clean cars. First gen 3000s are hard to come by. So we'll get back to this thing though. All right, so back to turbo. It is on. Figured I'd take a little video before I finish with putting the intake and everything on. I just love how cool it looks with just no intercooler piping, straight hot pipe into the intake. It's caused me my share of problems with high intake temps, but I still like it. Everything else is on. Exhaust, just need to put the blanket on. Turbo and feed lights are already on, and yeah, so just the turbo blanket and the intake. Not sure, I don't think I actually showed this yet. So I put 2 additional Bosch 210-pound injectors into the intake, and the main reason for that is I'm actually finally converting to full methanol for the primary fuel. So before it was E85 or pump gas with methanol injection, and now it's set up for FlexFuel, so I can still go back to pump gas and the tune is fine. But most of the time for racing, it'll be on full M1 methanol. And with that, it requires an enormous amount of fuel. And I only have the 8 injectors in the intake manifold, so adding 2 more plus let's see if we can see it down. Oh, can't see it. Way down there, little pulley right there, belt driven pulley, which will drive this cable that I need to install yet, which will drive this Enderley fuel pump. And right now I still have 4 Bosch 044 pumps hooked up, but I'll be making line to go to this and then upping the base fuel pressure. We'll be up to, instead of around 45 right now, it'll be up to 100 PSI base fuel pressure just to get enough fuel on methanol out of 10 injectors to feed the amount of fuel that this turbo is capable of producing. So I'm excited. I actually tested, never tuned on full methanol before, so I actually tested full methanol with the existing fuel system, and it was enough fuel for 15 pounds of boost, but whenever I tried 20, it just ran out of fuel, pump and injector, everything. So, and then it would lean out and hit lean-ish and hit my fuel safety cuts. So with the fuel pump and up base pressure and actually I had these 2 injectors already installed, so it just needed more flow and more pressure. So that's what we'll get. All right, well, got to keep working on it. So, a bit of a surprise to me, but good buddy of mine is bringing over his ride, a little unique compared to what I usually have in my garage. 76 Nova with some fatty wheels and tires, 383 stroker, and on-air ride. They look sweet. Ooh, look at those Willwoods.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. All right, pop the hood too. God, look at those tires. What size are those in the rear?
345s, 20s. It's dirty.
Yeah, but you just gotta run or going again.
Mm-hmm.
It's going in the video. It's been an interesting day. So I've been working on my car. I tuned a 3000 today, and then Kyle's hot rod. Video too. So you just put together all of this basically, right? So new seats, new door panels.
Dash, Dakota Digital.
Yep, all carbon fibered out. Fancy. Fancy. All right. Pop the. Is there anything cool back here too?
Not yet.
Oh.
No, air management will go back there, and then subs and stuff.
Oh, is the air ride not all hooked up yet?
No. It's is and isn't.
Oh, gotta crawl underneath here. Ugh. Fancy stuff. So are they just bags, or is there springs too?
There's springs inside it. They're shockwaves. So it's the bag, and then the shock runs inside the bag.
Cut in the bumper. What else? Oh, the fuel cell. I actually did a little bit of welding on that so he could use the stock filler. Make it nice and easy. Hey, I have to record this set because I just learned something here. I should have been recording the whole time. So this is, as Kyle just explained to me, a real vintage 1976 plate, and this is our county, and he found it on eBay. Been searching for how long?
Year and a half, almost 2 years.
And it is now registered under this vintage plate. The reason 1976 is important because that's the year of the car, and that is so wild.
Yeah, so it's tagged to this plate.
Okay.
This is my historic plate, so then every year I get a sticker.
Gotcha.
This has to stay in the car, so whenever this is registered to me, so when they run that plate,
it pulls that up. So they pull.
So that's piggyback to this plate. So you can run your current year of your vehicle, and it'll tag it to the historic plate.
That's awesome.
So
that is cool. So I was saying when you came in, so this is like a 383 stroker.
Yeah.
Probably, I think it's a little bored out now, right?
Yeah,
Or
it's
like
60 over.
Okay.
So it's really a 388.
Hot cam. That's about it, right?
Yeah. Well, everything's blueprint and balanced, poured and polished.
Yep. Eventually, maybe one day, big old twin screw or some nitrous or both. I'd have 2 turbos, but he doesn't listen to me.
Right. Maybe.
Pimp.
We'll see. So the front could still go down another inch,
Good grief.
but that's where it's at.
All right, do your fancy stuff on the door again. Maybe.
Hold on.
It's like we're in high school again.
Well, that's when I did this. I wouldn't have necessarily have done it now, but the fact it was already done when I did it way back then is why it still currently is what it is.
Yeah, so how long have you owned this car?
Since 97, I think, is when I purchased it. Either 97 or 98.
That is awesome. It's the first time I saw the wheel. So you just put them on today,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Fatties. So what, I forget why did you go like 12-inch?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Because
so
that's
it's
the widest tire they make. I was gonna go 14, but
yeah, they would have been
widest
stretched.
tire, and then they stretch.
They would have been stretched too much. They're like perfect now.
Yeah.
And the front's a 19 by 9 or 10 or
eights.
something.
They're 8s. Because I had 9 on it before. and it brought it out too far compared to where
Oh,
the rear
yeah.
was going to be. So
yeah, he was saying he needs to cut this underneath out a little bit so it can go lower. And the back's all the way down now?
yeah.
All right. It's got decent ground clearance though. You could almost drive like that.
In the rear,
Yeah.
my front, the cross
You went-
member, when that goes, I can still go down an inch because it's hitting the wheel wells.
Yeah.
If I pull my inner wheel wells out, it'll go all the way down. So since I put my inner wheel wells back on, it's bottoming out. So I got to do some finagling. But that cross member is this far from the ground. So
Can't really drive like
I was
that.
gonna have it where it laid frame, but then talking to Josh and stuff at Ridetech, he's like, you don't want that because if I would ever blow a bag, you're out of commission.
Yeah. So
then
this.
I'm laying frame. So this way, I can blow a bag. I only got this much clearance, but I can at least limp it off the road.
Makes sense.
So if I'm, somewhere far away,
Yeah, I guess
then I'm stuck.
should have mentioned it. It's Ridetech. Those Ridetech coilover air shock deals front and rear. And then still don't have the controller and stuff yet, but
Right.
doing a onboard air and controller. All right, not exactly sure where we left off because a bit of a strange day with tuning one car, which we did finish up, did well. He's happy, drove it back home like 3-4 hours. And then buddy Kyle stopping by with his car. So back to this thing. Do have the 88 millimeter turbo installed. And then, I don't remember if I showed this either, but this is 2 extra fuel injectors for full methanol. So it's going to be methanol for primary fuel. I think we talked about that already. And then drop the fuel cell, really dark, but in order to fix I had to replace the sending unit for the fuel gauge. Never worked, so don't know. It's a no-name brand fuel cell, so replaced it and seems to be working, but still need to fill it up the rest of the way to be sure. Did make a fuel line for the feed to the mechanical Enderley fuel pump, and then also mounted the battery per NHRA, which I had to drop the fuel cell to get to these bolts. So it was kind of not perfectly mounted before. So now it is. So next will be to install the fuel line somewhere there behind all the empty methanol cans. So that's -10 AN, and then the cable, which I already showed that. So going to finish that up tonight. Probably the next time we get back to this car will be Friday. We have dyno time scheduled, and we're going to do a back-to-back 80 millimeter versus 88. So that'll be interesting and quite a bit of work. But that's the plan. So that is Friday. Today is Wednesday. So I have tonight and tomorrow night after work to get this fixed up and ready to dyno.
What